Hey, Karen, all right. I was reading your writing, and this is really good stuff. I get it. I totally get it. It's really strange, especially if you're working on a portrait of yourself or a family member, especially one of your children. It's like, okay, I'm not going to change the shape of my child's face. So I get what you're saying. In a way, I kind of want you. No, I shouldn't say I want you to. In a way, I think this assignment should preclude using personal family members for that reason, because we're kind of hesitant to really push this technique. And I really want you to push this technique because that's how we learn, right? That's not to say you'll use these extreme techniques in a commercial process, but at least understanding the capabilities and what you can do. So that said, I'm going to leave it up to you. And in your final, well, let's go ahead and jump right over to the work. Okay, and let me just get this in the Okay, so one thing I want to say is that the original image is a little bit damaged. It's a little bit washed out, and by that I mean that it's the tonal range between the darks and the lights is not as extreme as it could be, and this typically is known as contrast. The image is also kind of fuzzy. It's got a little bit of a blur to it. So I'm not real sure if this is the best image to start with, but nonetheless, this is what you're working with. So this is what we will continue working with. Now, the differences between the mild adjustments and the original, we can definitely see those adjustments, but the extreme adjustments, these images should be identical except for the retouching enhancements, right? So this one is zoomed in a little bit. So I would recommend in your final, just keep these identical. If you want to replace the background, go right ahead and do so. But we can clearly see that this one is a closer perspective to the focal point than the other two, okay? So let's get those. So everything should be equal except for the retouches. Now, the differences between the first and the second, I think, are pretty good. But the differences between the second and the third, I would really like to see you push this. And as you said, it's your child, so you're a little hesitant to. So if you want to use a different image of somebody, go right ahead. But what I want you to do is just, let's forget the ethical and kind of moral implications and ramifications associated with changing the shape of someone's face and their actual physical characteristics. And let's just push this to the extreme so that you can really see and work with the capabilities of these tools, which are intense. Right? I not so much anymore, but I used to do a lot of model retouch work for photographers, and some of the things that I did are just intense. Really, just completely changing the way not the person looks, but their appearance. Okay, so what we do is we kind of slim down the face, we brighten up the eyes, we actually brighten the whites of the eyes, the teeth. We kind of create the eyes, maybe the eyebrows, lift them a little bit to add a little brighter look. Create tapers in the face, etc., etc. So I would like to see more variation in the advanced technique. So really get into, let's get those eyes, whiten those eyes. Let's get that color of the eyes themselves, enhance that so that's really reinforced. Really get in there, do an adjustment layer, a levels adjustment layer to increase the tone, and maybe even a vibrance adjustment layer, hue saturation, to increase the saturation and vibrance of the color associated as well. Let's get those teeth whitened, and even take that liquify filter and come over right here, and let's even just try to, let's just kind of see this shape of the cheek right here. Let's move that in a little bit to make that face a little bit thinner right through here. And please, I understand this is your daughter, so I'm not making any kind of judgment or anything on the physical appearance of this image. I'm just saying that let's do some things that clients typically want. Thinning the face, brightening the eyes, darkening the eyebrows, darkening the makeup around the eyes, smoothing that skin, getting rid of the little bags under the eyes that we all have, right? And let's go ahead and push this to a little bit more of an extreme. And that's what I'd like to see in your final submission for Sunday. Okay. All right, great start, great written rationale here. Everything's pointing in the right direction. I would just like to see a little bit further experimentation. Okay, Karen? Of course, at this point is where I say if you have any questions at all or need any sort of clarification, please let me know. I'll be glad to provide as such. All right? Thank you very much, Karen. Great start. Love it. Thank you.